The electric universe operates according to the established peer-reviewed literature on plasma cosmology, and Hans Alfvén, who was the leader of all of this, who actually drew the circuit for the Sun, which would show that the planets are orbiting within the Sun's circuit. Now, any object within that circuit will also tend to exhibit the same kind of connection, that is, a polar connection and an equatorial current sheet. And in the case of Venus, when I saw the Birkeland current features of the hotspot and the tornado at one pole, it was just simple to say, well, the other part of the circuit will be at the North Pole, and so we should see exactly the same phenomenon. And that was borne out, of course. Later, it was also shown with the Cassini mission to Saturn that it too had this binary pattern at the pole rotating, and that led me to say they will see the same feature at the other pole, which had been in darkness for years. And that's exactly what was found. It's very easy to make accurate predictions, quite outrageous ones at times, once you have the basic physical principles under control.
Another electrifying discovery came when the Magellan orbiter sent back radar signals from the mountain tops of Venus.
One of the mysteries that the Magellan orbiter returned to the Earth was that its radar signals were being returned very strongly from mountaintops on Venus, and they call them the shiny mountaintops in the radar images. There was no good answer to that, but as soon as I saw it, I recognized what it was. When I said that Venus is more electrically charged than the other planets in the inner solar system, one of the effects of that is that there will be a tendency to try and have a dark mode current. There is on Earth, in the Earth's atmosphere, there's a dark mode current between the ionosphere and the Earth. On Venus, that would be accentuated. And one of the things that happens in an electrical discharge in the atmosphere is that when the voltage gets to a certain level, sharp points and high spots will begin to exhibit St. Elmo's fire, which is a kind of glow discharge. There's a small current in the atmosphere just normally, which can be measured because of the voltage difference with height in the atmosphere. But in St. Elmo's fire, that voltage difference is sufficient to cause the atoms in the atmosphere to glow. That glow is a plasma. A dense plasma is a very good reflector of radio waves. And because the mountaintops is where the discharge is occurring, they will act like radar reflectors. And that's why they appeared bright in the Magellan images. Above a certain altitude, they were all glowing. Very simple answer. This has significance too for the mythological references to effects seen on Earth, and that is that St. Elmo's fire danced along rooftops and the tops of pyramids and obelisks. So the pyramid, I think they had a metallic cap or something on top originally, and that would have acted as a perfect lightning conductor.
Further evidence by the team suggests that the ancient people were affected by this kind of phenom, and they took precautionary measures with a famous device recorded in the Bible.
Velikovsky, in his view, his book Worlds in Collision, he talked about the Ark of the Covenant, which he said was constructed like a condenser and with collecting electrodes. And he said that in the days when there was this chaos, the atmospheric electricity was much more active, and you're likely to get electrocuted climbing up a mountain, and your burning bush that burned forever was St. Elmo's fire, because any filamentary or any pointed object will tend to appear as if they're on fire. The Ark of the Covenant, he said, suggested was that as the tribes of Israel were moving around, if this thing began discharging, they realized they were in danger, so they would try and head to somewhere lower ground or flat areas so that they were less likely to be in direct line of fire of any lightning. That makes sense, but also I think the Egyptian obelisks were also used as a kind of similar weather gauge. If they start glowing at the top, you knew that you better lie low and move away from high ground.